So we've been speaking a lot about how we invent or ride along with new technology that works to enhance the experience of the art that we create. What kind of impact can this technology have for live concerts in the world of rock and roll or even in the world of classical music? I'm thinking in terms of the symphonic setting or even the chamber music setting.
I think that we are at the beginning of a new kind of renaissance. And a renaissance happens in a way that's very different from revolutions, right? So a revolution is typically when one power structure is overthrown and a new one emerges. And I don't think of this as an artistic revolution. I think of this as an artistic renaissance. And renaissances happen through interdisciplinary conversations. It happens when the poet is talking to the painter, or the theater director, or the musician, or the scientist. It's when those ideas that you might not encounter in the daily rhythm of your own routine come into your path and plant a new seed of possibility, because you're presented with an idea that you haven't encountered before, and it's really that thing that meets with your thing, and some new thing emerges as a result of that dance of ideas. And renaissances are, from the bottom up, explosions of life, right? It's kind of like an estuary. An estuary is where salt water and fresh water collide. And at that intersection point, there's an explosion of life. And I feel like we're in that moment right now, where over the last 10 years, the new tools available to creators allow people to pursue their curiosities in creative directions at a price point that is much more available to people than it would have been previously, and so as a result, people are able to create beautiful photographs. They're able to work on their writing. They're able to become a filmmaker or a digital storyteller in that sense, and create music. And so all of a sudden, this idea of being found in translation is happening at an individual level as well, and you're seeing the results of that. People are collaborating in all kinds of new and incredible ways. And so when we're in the beginning of a renaissance like that creatively, the way that new expression plays with all of the previous expressions is where a lot of those new rules kind of get written. And so I think a lot of times, especially symphonic or classical music, is late to adopt new things, because there's such a rich tradition and so much rigor that goes into executing at that elite caliber, that there's a rigor around protecting the orthodoxies of that practice. And so I think you'll see new technologies or new kinds of expression emerging in other sectors. And what's been really fun is to kind of see, especially with some of these emerging leaders in the scene, like a willingness to try to step out of the box in a way that feels extremely exciting. And so I think some of the potential is going to really start to come to life as the technology becomes a little bit more ubiquitous. And I can see all kinds of applications for how to infuse, kind of like what we did in the Tower of David, where our live performance was connected to this immersive visual digital experience. And it really was the combination of the two that allowed for this really revelatory moment to happen. And I think we're just getting started.
Yeah.